So, we're supposedly living in this golden age of productivity, right? There's an app for literally everything, promising to organize our entire lives. But let's be real. With all these amazing tools at our fingertips, are we actually getting more done? Or are we just getting better at feeling busy?
Yeah? Does this look familiar? That pile of work, the calendar that's just screaming at you, the endless notifications? It's that classic modern feeling, isn't it? Being completely overwhelmed, constantly connected, but always feeling like you're one step behind.
I mean, let's face it, the demands of work and school today are just intense. We're expected to be expert multitaskers, manage these huge, complex projects, and somehow stay focused while fighting off an entire ocean of digital distractions. It's a lot.
And so, what do? We turn to technology for the answer. Of course we do. A whole industry has popped up promising us that if we just download their app, we can finally get our lives organized, manage our time, and get everything under control. And this app universe is just massive. You've got your assistive apps like Grammarly that help you write better. You've got automation apps to handle all the boring, repetitive stuff. Then there are the big task managers for your projects. And of course, a million different chat platforms to keep your team in the loop. Each one promises to be the magic solution.
And this quote from PCMag just nails the dream they're selling us. It's not just about getting more work done. It's about working smarter so we can get our time back for the things we actually care about. It's an amazing pitch, but does it actually work?
Okay, this is where things get really, really interesting. Because while the promise is one thing, the reality might be something else entirely. A recent academic study decided to actually test this idea. And what they found? Well, it might make you rethink downloading that next new shiny app.
This was the big question they wanted to answer. You know, it's one thing for an app to feel productive, but does using it more actually make us better at the real skills of planning, prioritizing, and, hitting our deadlines?
So researchers conducted what's called a quantitative study. Basically, they surveyed a bunch of students and measured two simple things. First, how often they were using these productivity and automation tools, and second, how good their time management skills actually were.
And this right here, this is the big reveal. This is the scatterplot from their research. Now, if the apps were really the solution we think they are, you'd expect to see a really clear pattern, right? A nice line of dots going up and to the right. The more you use the apps, the better your skills get. Simple.
But that's not what we see. Not at all. It's just a random cloud of dots. You've got students who use apps all the time and have great time management, and students who use them all the time and are terrible at it. The same goes for people who barely use apps. There's just nothing there. No connection.
And when they actually crunched the numbers, this is what they got. It's called a correlation coefficient. Now, just for context, a perfect connection is a 1. No connection at all is a 0. So a value of 0.043, that's so close to 0, it's practically screaming that there is no relationship here.
So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway from the study. They found no statistically significant link between how often someone used these tools and how good they were at managing their time. Just using an app more doesn't automatically make you better.
So what's going on here? If the apps themselves aren't the magic bullet, then what are we missing? Well, the study offers a really powerful explanation, and it all comes down to a super important difference. It's not about the tool, it's about the strategy. It's the difference between just kind of passively using an app and having a real intentional system. What the researchers realized is that just having the app does almost nothing. It's how you weave it into your actual workflow that makes all the difference.
And this chart shows that difference perfectly. Passive use, that's when the app is just a fancy alarm clock. You set a few reminders, wait for the alerts to tell you what to do, and that's it. But strategic use is totally different. That's proactive. That's using the tool to support a bigger system, a system of weekly planning, of building real habits, of thinking ahead. So you can think of these tools like amplifiers. They're great at making a good system even better, but they can't create good time management skills out of thin air. They're meant to be a supplement to good habits, not a substitute for them. Which brings us to the most important part of all of this. How do we actually do it? How do we go from being a passive user to a strategic planner and finally unlock what these tools are truly capable of?
Well, based on the research, it seems to come down to a pretty simple 3-step process. First, pick your tools with intention. Don't just download the most popular one. Find one that actually works for the way your brain works. Second, you have to build a consistent system around it, like a weekly planning session that you never ever skip. And third,
you have to be honest with yourself. Reflect on what's working and what isn't, and be willing to change your process.
Because at the end of the day, that's the whole point. The app is just a hammer. It's a fantastic tool if you already know how to build something, but it's just a heavy paperweight if you don't. The skill has to come first, and the tool is there to serve the skill.
So that really just leaves us with one final question to ask ourselves. When you look at your phone, at all those apps you've downloaded, are they a finely tuned productivity engine actually powering you toward your goals, or are they just a digital graveyard of good intentions?